Hey everyone, Dr. Josh Matson here with Infinity Chiropractic Center. We have a lot of kids, and recently we've had a ton of kids, infants really young, less than a year old, that have been coming in with motor development difficulties. And there's a common theme between all of them. Typically, they still have reflexes that just aren't quite developing appropriately, which I have tons of videos over primitive reflexes, so you guys can look into that. But the biggest thing that no other really health practitioner besides a chiropractor looks at is how their cervical spine is moving, how their upper neck is moving is really one of the most important things. And so there's a lot of different research out there that shows that infants during the normal birth process, about 80% of kids have upper cervical misalignments. This is from a book by a guy, an MD called Heiner Biederman, and he started diagnosing kids with what's called KISS syndrome, which is kinematic imbalance due to suboccipital strain, which really just means the upper part of the neck is misaligned, not functioning well, and in the chiropractic world, that's called an upper cervical subluxation, or misalignment, really simply put. But what happens is when you have a misalignment, the upper part of the neck or the upper part of the neck isn't moving appropriately, it's not really doing what it's supposed to do. What happens is kids can't turn their head effectively from side to side through their full ranges of motion. So what that means is, like, let's say you have a kid that isn't rolling over. The first movement that child has to do is they have to roll their head, turn their head to start to create that movement. They use a reflex, it's called a segmental rolling reflex, but the first thing they have to do is they have to turn their head. If they can't turn their head because the upper part of their neck is locked up and not moving appropriately, they can't even create that. So they can't start rolling, they can't keep rolling, they can't build the muscles that are needed so that they can sit up, because rolling helps to develop core musculature that allows you to sit. If they can't turn their head and straighten their arm in the opposite side, that comes from a reflex called an asymmetrical tonic neck reflex, but a lot of kids don't develop that appropriately because they can't move their neck, and that's how you start to develop those reflexes. So what a lot of people don't know and don't look at is the upper part of the neck. If it's not moving well, it creates a lot of developmental issues. So if you have a child, a child that has developmental issues, look at how their neck is moving. See if if you lay them on their back, they should be able to turn their head. If they're under a year, their chin should be able to go to their shoulder very easy. Most of the kids that I check, they can go like 20 degrees maybe, if they're lucky. And just kind of think of it as, like, let's say you're going to try to build a bicep muscle and you're going to do bicep curls. If the only range of motion you have is this, you're not going to develop very good muscle tone if you're working out in this range of motion. But if you work through the full range of motion, you're going to develop muscles more appropriately, you're going to develop stronger muscles, and they're going to be able to do better motor tasks or better movement tasks. So, simple thing, take a child, if you have one, that is having difficulties, and just try to turn their head. If they can't turn their head, call our office, get them in, we'll get that range of motion back. Really simple, easy adjustments that are really low force. They don't take much at all. And then with some exercises, that range of motion comes back very, very quickly, and motor milestones start to improve very quickly. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope this helps you guys. Have an awesome day.